6 types of assessment to use in your classroom. Number 1. Diagnostic assessment. When you structure diagnostic assessment around your lesson, you'll get the information you need to understand student knowledge and engage your whole classroom. Some examples to try include mind maps, flow charts, KWL charts, short quizzes, journal entries, student interviews, student reflections, graphic organizers, classroom discussions. Using Prodigy for diagnostic assessments. One unique way of delivering diagnostic assessments is to use a game-based learning platform that engages your students. Prodigy's assessment tools help you align the math questions your students see in-game with the lessons you want to cover. Create assessment. How would you like to assess your class? Plans align them to an expectation. Students will work through the skills within an expectation at their own pace and will drop back to prerequisites when necessary. Assignments. Quiz them on a set of skills. Students will receive a fixed set of questions from the skills that you choose. Great for doing diagnostic or summative assessments. Test preps prepare them for a standardized test. Students will protect the specific skills that are assessed by your regions. Standardized test as your dashboard tracks the results. To set up a diagnostic assessment, use your assessment tool to create a plan that guides students through a skill and automatically drops them down to prerequisites when necessary. Want to give your students a sneak peek at the upcoming lesson? Learn how Prodigy helps you pre-teach important lessons. Number 2. Formative assessment. Just because students made it to the end of the unit test doesn't mean they've mastered a skill. Formative assessments help teachers understand student learning while they teach and adjust their teaching strategies accordingly. Meaningful learning involves processing new facts, adjusting assumptions, and drawing nuanced conclusions. Or, as researchers Thomas Sombridge and Thomas Carpenter describe it. Current research indicates that acquired knowledge is not simply a collection of concepts and procedural skills filed in long-term memory. Rather, the knowledge is structured by individuals in meaningful ways, which grow and change over time. Some examples of formative assessments include portfolios, group projects, progress reports, class discussions, entry and exit tickets, short, regular quizzes, and virtual classroom tools like Socrative or Kahoot. When running formative assessments in your classroom, it's best to keep them short, easy to grade, and consistent. Introducing students to formative assessments in a low-stakes way can help you benchmark their progress and reduce math anxiety when a big test day rolls around. How Prodigy helps you deliver formative assessments. Prodigy makes it easy to create, deliver, and grade formative assessments that keep your students engaged with the learning process and provide you with actionable data to adjust your lesson plans. Number 3. Summative assessment. Summative assessments measure students' progress as an assessment of learning and provide data for you, school leaders and district leaders. They're cost, efficient, and valuable when it comes to communicating students' progress, but they don't always give clear feedback on the learning process and can foster a teach-to-test mindset if you're not careful. Summative assessment doesn't mean it can't be engaging for students and useful for your teaching. Try creating assessments that deviate from the standard multiple choice test, like recording a podcast, writing a script for a short play, and producing an independent study project. No matter what type of summative assessment you give your students, keep some best practices in mind. Keep it real-world relevant where you can. Make questions clear and instructions easy to follow. Give a rubric so students know what you're expected of them. Create your final test after, not before, teaching the lesson. Try blind grading. Don't look at the name on the assignment before you mark it. Number 4. Ipsative assessments. Ipsative assessments are one of the types of assessment as learning that compares previous results with a second try, motivating students to set goals and improve their skills. A two-stage assessment framework helps students learn from their mistakes and motivates them to do better. Plus, it makes the instant gratification of goals and teaches students learning is a process. You can incorporate Ipsative assessment into your classrooms with portfolios, a two-stage testing process, and project-based learning activities. One study on Ipsative learning techniques found that when it was used with higher education distance learners, it helped motivate students and encourage them to act on feedback to improve their grades. Number 5. Norm reference assessments. Norm reference assessments are tests designed to compare an individual to a group of their peers, usually based on national standards and occasionally adjusted for age, ethnicity, or other demographics. Unlike Ipsative assessments, where the student is only competing against themselves, norm reference assessments draw from a wide range of data points to make conclusions about student achievement. Types of norm reference assessments include IQ test, physical assessments, and standardized college admissions tests like the SAT and GRE. Proponents of norm reference assessments point out that they accentuate differences among test takers and make it easy to analyze large-scale trends. Critics argue they don't encourage complex thinking and can inadvertently discriminate against low-income students and minorities. Norm reference assessments are most useful when measuring student achievement to determine language ability, grade readiness, physical development, college admission decisions, and need for additional learning support. While they're not usually the type of assessment you deliver in your classroom, chances are you have access to data from past tests that can give you valuable insights into student performance. Number 6. Criterion-referenced assessments. In the classroom, this means measuring student performance against grade-level standards and can include end-of-unit or final tests to assess student understanding. Outside of the classroom, Criterion-referenced assessments appear in professional licensing exams, high school exit exams, and citizenship tests, where the student must answer a certain percentage of questions correctly to pass. Criterion-referenced assessments are most often compared with norm-reference assessment. While they're both valuable types of assessment of learning, Criterion-referenced assessments don't measure students against their peers. Instead, each student is graded on their own strengths and weaknesses. Thank you for watching our video.